Hello ladies and gents, I am Citizen Sleeve and welcome to Replayed Reviews, a little series I do where I take games from yesteryear and re-review them in a nice short format with a little bit of the game's intro footage. Now, if you've got any suggestions for games of yesteryear that you would like me to cover in the series, by all means, chug them in the comment. Right then, this time around, we're going to take a little look at Borderlands 2. Let's begin, shall we? I'll start this review by making a very clear statement. Borderlands 2 is one of the best co-op games I've ever played, and I played a lot of co-op games in my time. The original was a breath of fresh air in the drab realistic world of contemporary military shooters. Its cel-shaded graphics stood out in the crowd and offered a vibrant and clearly defined aesthetic. However, the original had a few flaws, not least the almost non-existent narrative and rather repetitive missions. Its sequel, much like Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect, takes the previous core experience and expands upon every mechanic wonderfully well. The world of Pandora is far more interesting this time around, with unique characters that fill much of the void apparent in the first game. You play as one of 5 classes, with the Necromancer releasing shortly after the game's release. My playthrough focused on the Siren class and the very Mass Effect biotic-like central power called phase locking. The assassin can be tailored to long-range or up-close stealth kills in the form of invisibility and distraction. The commando has the expected turret, while the gunzerker can dual-wield any combination of guns. Speaking of guns, there are a lot! So many, in fact, that your head will spin like Reagan from The Exorcist if you attempt to comprehend them all at once. Weapon manufacturers such as Dahl and Vladof have guns even more unique to their brand than previously, with everything from Tediore guns that can be thrown like grenades when emptied of ammo, to verbally rambling weapons that make you feel a touch like Rogue Trooper from 2000 AD. Sanctuary is again the major city where you'll be spending a great deal of time, and there is certainly more to do than in the first game, especially if you get hooked on the casino-style gambling machines like I did. And how that worked out in the future of gaming, as it were. The central narrative kind of concerns the rumour of a much bigger new vault on Pandora, with Handsome Jack of the Hyperion Corp controlling the world via a giant satellite and hunting the same vault. The new Vault Hunters are assisted throughout the game with appearances from the 4 playable characters from the original as supporting NPCs. No, it's not exactly a complex plot and it won't win any awards, but it's far better than the threadbare story of the original. What makes it more robust is the NPC's design and dialogue. Most, if not all, of the major NPCs are voiced brilliantly, with standouts like the hilarious Tiny Tina. There is limited customization for your avatar, but this is only really swapping costumes and hairstyles, so further character personalization would be a welcome addition. Now to the meat of Borderlands 2, which is of course its online co-op multiplayer. The game scales enemy difficulty in relation to the number of human players, up to 4, and it can get rather chaotic when you're all in a firefight together. Some enemies can be raged and level up while beating up their former allies until they become quite hardcore, which is an interesting concept. Players can swap weapons and items easily via the trade menu, and you can also duel it out to see who gets that next special gun. Obviously, the best case scenario is to have all 4 players using different classes, thus offering the full range of powers to complement each other. I suspect the Necromancer release may have unbalanced player cast choice somewhat, but class mods still allow for ever more specialised effects for your character, and if that's what you've chosen, you can buffer the effects of your chosen skill tree. Each class has 3 skill trees to choose from, and you can of course mix and match, although it's kind of advisable to focus on one tree in order to access the really high powers. You can respec characters for a small price in Sanctuary outside Dr. Zed's if you've mucked up your choices, or you just want to check out one of the other skill trees. Some rather cool new features include badass points, which you can assign to improve everything from your shield capacity and weapon damage, to your chance of causing elemental effects. Each additional point in one particular area stacks, and therefore cumulatively improving that stat. And then there's the golden keys. Golden keys, you lovely little things. A chest exists in Sanctuary that only opens with these aforementioned golden keys, and unfortunately they were only at the time available by a pre-order and basically online with Randy Pitchford and other people from Gearbox chucking shift codes out, and you could use them in game. Once open, the chests randomly generate some truly wonderful items. You may just get one kick-ass rocket launcher or a few different guns or shields, dependent on your character's current level. Plus, the more human players involved, the better the gear. My friends and I genuinely became excited with the prospect of one of us finding something stunning inside the chest and amicably gave those weapons or shields to the best character or player to suit them. Apart from the chest, I did, after several hours of gambling, to obtain a rather tasty orange-grade pistol after matching the Borderlands symbols. Another neat little touch in relation to the gambling machines is the grenades thrown out if you match 3 bandit faces, ensuring that you hightail it across the room for fear of being blown the hell up. Another way to improve your character is from iridium, a rare mineral now apparent in Pandora after the exploits of the first 4 Vault Hunters. Iridium can be to increase backpack storage, specific gun ammo, and the amount of grenades you can carry. Despite my clearly positive review of the game thus far though, it does make a few missteps. Although there is now a 4-seater vehicle available, they still all control like you're pushing a rubber duck round a bath. It's reminiscent of driving a Warthog in the original Halo, with the twin-stick controls being cumbersome, particularly when attempted to turn a corner. My character also got stuck in the environment a number of times, and in one particular instance the game wouldn't let me leave a toilet. It must have thought I needed to relieve myself and was very forceful in making sure I knew about it. There's quite a lot of environment popping with objects appearing close in the player's field of vision, but set hardware limitations as a cause. And don't forget, the re-releases out there has been for a long time, so a lot of those little niggles will have been ironed out. So to reiterate the first line of the review, Borderlands 2, I think, is one of the best co-op games I ever played, and I think it's still the best Borderlands game, to be honest. I know a lot of people might prefer 3, maybe the pre-sequel as it's called, but not really for me. Online, with a full contingent of friends, it's a thoroughly absorbing shooter loot fest that offers an exceptional amount of mission content. The guns are simply glorious, with each manufacturer having a unique visual design that's every bit of joy to look at as the cel-shaded world of Pandora. The rich cast of NPCs with unique and humorous dialogue fleshes out the world in a way the original just didn't, keeping the experience varied. I can't recommend Borderlands 2 highly enough if you've got a bunch of mates who just want to have fun, and it simply must be played with those friends to really enjoy everything on offer in Pandora. Thank you so much for watching and listening. It is an absolute privilege to be able to make videos for you all, and in 2021 I intend to go at it. No more messing about. I'm going to crack on and do a bunch of stuff for you guys. Now, if there's anything you want me to do as a replayed review, any old game you think you'd like me to deconstruct and do a quick snap of, by all means, chuck those in the comments. And if you've got anything you would like me to try and do on the channel, game podcast, skits and sketches with random comedy voices, or breakdowns, or if you want me to bring back talking title screens, anything like that at all, any suggestions you've got, put them in the comments, because we want to build a community, right? We want to do stuff together and do stuff that you enjoy watching. I don't want to just do stuff for the sake of it. So if you want me to do certain things, chuck it in the comments. I'll have a gander and I will consider it. Now, if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you didn't like the video, hit that dislike button. And if you really want to support me, sub to the channel. Get involved, talk in the comments, really try and spread the word and get people involved in this lovely thing we call gaming. I'll also be covering TV series and TV episodes, films, all types of different media here and there, and we also have the Last Edit Film podcast over on my other channel. So go and check that out. That's with Silver and myself, and that's where we basically take an obscure often film and just deep dive it and do a nice, lovely, long, in-depth podcast about that particular film. Now, don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitch, Citizen Sleeve over there, Citizen Sleeve over on Twitter, Facebook, and the Instagram, as it were. But I'm probably most active on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching again. It's all kinds of appreciated, especially in this brand new year where a lot of us are just beginning again. Take it easy. I will see you very soon.